Are you focusing on the wrong things? Whatever you focus your mind on grows. That's the subject that we're going to talk about today with our very special guest. So let's get this episode started. Welcome back to another episode. It's good to see you coming back for more tips, stories, and tricks regarding expansion. So, who is our special guest for today? Well, let me tell you that he is a business owner of Easy Business Solutions. He is also a successful entrepreneur on network marketing. He's a professional on that area. He also is the owner of a solar energy company and a co-owner of a medical clinic. He is a manager and a salesman with over 10 years of experience. And I actually want you to know him. He's a very nice guy. Mhm. All right, good. I'll just tell you a little bit about him, and then we'll get him here so that he can tell you a little bit more about himself, and then let's get on the main subject. He was born in Ecuador, living in a nice and loving, caring family. Mhm. His dad was a doctor, and his mom is a dentist of profession, but also works as a legislator in the government. Mm. Now, I do want to say that he defines his own life as ordinary life. Nothing drastic or dramatic has happened to him. Nothing too out of the ordinary. But that um, that did not mean that he didn't have drive, inspiration, or success, as you'll get to see in just a minute. Now, mhm, he always had like an idea, that you're supposed to have a job, go from 9 to 6 or whatever. He didn't necessarily grow up with being your own boss, and kind of trying to reach out for the stars. But then he got married, and things changed because his wife inspired him to wanna shoot for the stars, being herself a very successful businesswoman and an entrepreneur that just wanted to be her own boss. So he soon changed his frame of mind and started thinking with this new uh, idea that made it his own. And from there, things just went straight up and vertical. So now, one of the things that I really like about this guy, our special guest, is he is very calm, modest, but very successful. He has several things that he had several projects that he has started, and he's doing well, like really well on all of them. So, without further ado, let's just get our special guest to talk about his achievements and how changing his frame of his mindset actually made the big change in his life. Without further ado, please let me help welcoming expanded fire style to Israel Alarcon.
¿Qué tal? ¿Y tú?
How are you doing, my friend?
Doing really good. Thank you for having me. It's nice to be here.
I'm excited to have you here. You like I said, it's you seem like an extremely nice person, and it's always good to have someone like that here.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. That's what my wife says, that I'm nice.
She better.
Yeah.
So, so tell me before we get into the main subject. Let's just go over a little bit about why did you feel that not everybody needs to have like an amazing uh, rising from the ashes kind of background in order to achieve success.
hmm Well, I think most of the time that you hear someone that is like really successful in the news, and I'm not even close to them, right? I'm not even close to being as successful as most people that you see out in the news and out in different shows or different people that you had in this show. Um, but most of them, I noticed that they went through some tragedy, right?
Mhm.
They had something really difficult happening to them. Maybe a death in the family. Maybe they lost everything. Maybe they immigrated, right? Maybe they went to the border. Made so many things out there that happens to people. But then to ordinary people like me, I had a really good upbringing. My mom and dad, like you mentioned, they took really good care of me. Everything was great. So then I follow whatever society wanted me to follow, which was to study, get to university, get a good job, and live a good life for the rest of the time that you have on this earth. My wife, like you mentioned, is the one that kind of opened my eyes to the fact that maybe the low income people are not the one in as much danger as the middle class. The middle class is in constant attack. If you continue to do what a middle class does, eventually it's going to disappear because that's the working class, right?
Mhm.
That's the people that are working for the very successful ones, or to the ones that have businesses.
Mhm.
And if you continue to do that, 10, 20 years as robotics, as technology advances, as jobs get um, replaced by robots and by different things that we're already seeing in today's world, eventually, sooner or later, you're going to have a lot of issues financially. We're talking about 10, 20 years, 30 years down the road. But who wants to be like, I'm 35 right now. I don't want to be 65 when I'm going to be in serious trouble financially, right? Because I'm still doing the same thing and I was easily replaced. So those kind of things took over my mind, and I was like, well, maybe I need to do something else. Everyone says that I'm always really good at making money for other people, but for some reason, I never believed that I was really good at making money for myself. I was really responsible meeting a schedule, meeting a deadline, but I was not being very responsible with my own dreams, with my own reality, with my own, even with my own projects. I will postpone my projects in order to meet other deadlines from work and from those kind of places. And once again, sooner or later, you're going to end up giving your dreams in order to earn a paycheck. And that was just not what I wanted out of life anymore. I did it for a moment. Most people, that's what they want for a moment until they realize, my goodness, I work so hard. I make such good money. 60, I think it was 65 grand a year was like the average income. So if you
Mhm.
make more than that, then you're more wealthy than half of the population of the United States, right?
Mhm.
Yet, with 70, with 80, with 90, with 100 grand, who really can pay for a really nice car, for a really nice insurance for your family, a really nice home, for a good college? Who can pay that with that? So
Mhm.
it's just, although most people are making that amount of money, when you're comparing yourself to what you don't want to be, when you focus on the things that you don't want, right? And that's kind of like what we're talking right now for the show. When you focus on the fact that you're better off than most people in the U.S. or most people in the world, then you're just gonna have an okay life. Just gonna have a better life than most people. But when
Mhm.
you focus on what you want, you know what? I want a huge house. I want a $2 million house. I want great cars. I want my family to be in the best shape ever. I want my kids to go to the best school. If you focus on that, then your mind is gonna take you there. And the only way that you're gonna do it is by stopping to do the same things that you're doing over and over again as a middle class. So.
Correct. Good. Good. Yeah, that is very important because, like you say, we tend to settle, mhm,
Hmm.
with what's enough. Mhm. This is enough to be able to live and provide for the next 5 to 10 years. Mhm. But inflation and the machines taking over and
Hmm.
other things, unexpected things like a pandemic, that hits the entire planet. It really leaves the future is the most, um, I want to say, unpredictable thing. right? Because at any moment something could happen that is beyond the reach of your ability to know that it's coming and to control. Mhm.
Hmm.
So I think that your viewpoint is one that every single business owner and entrepreneur should have, especially when they want to become one. Mhm. Get out of the comfort zone of just checking the clock type of mhm, job, because yes, there is no guarantee uh, better than expansion, mhm, and abundance
Exactly.
and thinking in future. So amazing advice that you gave us. Mhm. Very good. Now, mhm, let's link this to the following thing. Mhm. Because we said we were going to talk about focusing on the wrong things. Mhm. Are you focusing on the wrong things? Which is what we started talking right now. Uh-huh. And the next thing is whatever you focus your mind on grows, which you mentioned briefly, but let's go deep into it now. So tell me, mhm, an experience of yours, like a specific moment, a decisive moment in your business, mhm, where you said, yes, this proves that whatever I focus my mind on, mhm, I actually made it grow.
Very well. I'm actually going to tell you a really funny story first, because it took me from where I was to doing something more. And it's going to sound really weird. It might sound like, my goodness, this guy does that. But I know there's a lot of people out there. I'm going to take this from business to something that guys specifically, like a lot of people are doing nowadays. Maybe that wasn't happening 10, 20 years ago, but a lot of guys are doing it nowadays. I
Okay.
used to play a lot of video games. Do you play a lot of video games?
I haven't in a while, but
Yeah.
it's a guilty pleasure.
Yes. So I used to play a lot of video games, right? When I was okay working, and then I had some time, and I played at night. Once again, focusing on the things that are not helping, right?
Mhm.
One of those video games, and once again, there's a reason for this story. In one of those video games, as I'm getting to like the final moment in which all the teams are like battling each other and whatnot, I got into a bike right in the game,
Mhm.
and I start driving off the place where everyone is battling, right? Because I'm like running away because I need to make it to the next part. And it's a huge desert, and there's like one tree in the middle. That's it, like a tiny tree in the middle, and I'm in the bike, right? So I start just. I need to book it. I need to get out of here, and drove as fast as I can. And there is nothing, only a tree. But I'm looking at the tree as I'm driving, and I'm like, that tree, that tree. I better not hit that tree. I better not hit that tree because I'm gonna die if I hit it or if I'm in the bike, right? And guess what I did?
Hit the trick.
I hit the tree. I could move in any direction, and I did. I kind of like soar around, and I hit the tiny tree that was in this desert. There was nothing else, and I died hitting that tree because I focused on that tree.
Mm.
You know. Now this is video games, right? But it's the same way how it works in life. You know, I sooner I found out that if I want to go to the next level, then I need to stop doing things that are not going to add value to my life. If my focus is being successful in creating money, I cannot play video games, right? If my focus is to make money, then I cannot be on Facebook all day long checking on the news or checking on everyone's stories when I have my own story to build, right?
Correct.
And what do I mean by that? If you're going to be on Facebook, do something for your business, do marketing, work on the stuff that is supposed to help your business. If you focus on the problems of your business or your job, whatever it may be, even for people that are just thinking they're going to be entrepreneurs, they're going to get out of their job, and if you during your work time you're focusing on the wrong things, then you're always going to get caught up in the whirlwind. You're always going to cut up in the noise of things.
Hmm.
So one of the main things that uh, for me broke the moment in which I was like, hey, maybe I can do this if I focus on the right thing, was the fact that I never wanted to be an entrepreneur because, well, if you want to start your own business, you need 10 grand, 20 grand, 30 grand, 40, 50 grand, right? I actually used to work for a very big company that had 21 stores. I managed all of them. I was like the director of the company. And because of that, every time I wanted to open a new location, I had to get to the owners, the CFO, and everyone, and I had to find out, okay, what's our budget? And every time it was 50 grand, and I was like, I don't have 50 grand to put just a store that might not give me everything that I need to live on, right?
Yeah.
I didn't want to put 50 grand because then what if it goes down? What if it goes under, right? You lose that money. But I
Right.
was focusing on the wrong thing. When network marketing came to my life, right, which is one of the business that I have with my wife, and actually that's the one that helped our mind expand. And most people don't like network marketing. It's such a great tool to expand your mind, to get capitalized, to make more money. When I focus on the fact that not every business needs a lot of money to start, with this opportunity came to us, and we developed it, right? And we were doing it.
Hmm.
During the time of our business, we noticed that we were focusing on the wrong thing, which is money itself, just
Right.
bills, right? Because yes, you definitely want money, but it's not really money what you need, right? It's people, for example, in network marketing.
Hmm.
Money will come, but your focus is people. Your focus is getting to as many people as you can so that you can expand your business. So when you're doing the things that you're doing, for example, if you're in a restaurant, right, or if you are in a gaming store, or if you are in a marketing company, whatever it may be, a solar company, the
Hmm.
problem is not money. The problem is people. The
Hmm.
focus should be people. How do you get to those people? How do you get to as many people as you can in the most effective way?
Hmm.
Because once you get to them, the money will come as a consequence, right? If you're thinking, how do I get money, but you don't focus on how the money comes, then that's the wrong focus, right?
Hmm.
So in our business, in the network marketing business, for example, when we stop looking at people with a dollar sign, because a lot of them do it, right? Especially our people that just start. But as you become a professional within the industry, you notice that people are people. People are important. It's not about the money; it's about helping them. When you help them do good in the business, you're gonna be doing good. A Let's see, another moment might be during the clinic, for example. Once again, the focus on the clinic was to get the doctor, right? Get the PAs, get the MAs, get the medical supplies, get all the vaccines, be ready, right? We're all ready, spending so much money in getting everything to be absolutely perfect for the clients, for the patients to come in.
Right.
But what's the focus of a clinic?
To
Patients.
serve people.
Exactly, the people that we're going to serve, the patients. You know, if we did everything to you, okay, we're ready for the patients. Where are they? We just spent a lot of money. We just had a huge overhead over your business. Your business has a huge overhead and still not making any income. So
Hmm.
as you increase, obviously you want to serve your patients with the best you have. But as you're increasing your overhead, as you're increasing the good things that you're doing for your clients, patients, whatever it may be, you also have to bring in the amount of clients that will support that, right? That money is helps to invest. Don't over invest when you don't have an income stream of income to pay for what you're investing on.
Hmm.
So you gotta focus on what you're doing. Folk, sometimes I hear people that are more waiting on the weekend than having a good day at work.
Oh,
Right? You hear that all the time. It, it
yeah.
it's in Spanish it says viernes y el cuerpo lo sabe, right? It's Friday and the body knows it, right? People are they're focusing on the weekend because they hate today, right?
Right.
They hate Monday, they hate Tuesday, they hate Wednesday, whatever it may be. But their focus really, if they want to live a happier life, is to make today great. What don't you like of what you're doing today? If
Hmm.
they say, well, I hate my job, then you're in the wrong job. Well, I hate working for someone else, and well, it's time for you to open those wings and fly away and do your own thing, and don't be
Totally.
afraid. Trust yourself. That made the difference to me. Trusting myself. I was really good at making everyone money, but I never trusted I could do it for me.
Hmm.
And my wife helped a lot with that. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of people that have businesses here are probably married, and getting your wife to support you, to explain what you're doing to your wife, not because you have to explain yourself, but more like because you want her support in what you're doing, is
Correct.
going to help you do better and better every day. And that's what happened to me. It
Hmm.
was having my wife. My wife had my back. You know,
Totally.
she was
I know
she was
how that
ready to
is.
fall. She was ready to fall with me. And that made it extra special to me because she was ready to fall with me. So I knew I couldn't have her fall. I knew I
Correct.
couldn't fall because she was gonna fall with me, and that drive.
That's amazing. It's very well. This last part that you mentioned is very cute. It's very nice, but it's also, oh my God, is it such a powerful drive, personally?
Hmm.
Because I've been there. Hmm. And the one thing that comes up a lot, like I didn't know at the beginning when I started the show, just interviewing entrepreneurs, I had no idea of the power of going out, kind of like on a faith leap, mhm, to build a new business out of the blue. That a lot of people had behind that the drive of, I'm doing this for my family. Mhm. And so many people don't even care about the money. Mhm. Although they need the money in order to take care of their family, it's like they're focused on the ones that they love. Mhm. And it's like you say, focusing on the right thing. Uh-huh. People that I've interviewed entrepreneurs that had a few businesses go down, just kaput, and then their mindset changed to what you say, focusing on the right thing. They were focusing on making money. Mhm. But they were single, living the bachelor life.
Well,
I want money to be able to buy myself an Audi, a BMW, go to Europe. And those businesses, and some of the stories that I've seen, went down. Mhm. Just, but then, when they were at the lowest, starting over, having to push through, they met the right girl or guy, fell in love, got married, mhm, and then their mindset switched to the right thing, like you say in your advice. It's not about making money; it's being able to stably provide a future. Mhm.
right. That's exactly right.
So it's exactly the way that you say, but I just love the way that you explain it and your story behind it, how you found out, because it's a little bit like that, It's like when we were growing up, especially in this era, video games are like everywhere. It's like almost the new kind of soft drug. Hmm.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you want to take your mind off of everything, don't think about it, just go play a video game for about 5 or 6 hours. Uh-huh. But when you
Literally.
take your mind off of that and invest all that time, which is 6 hours or 5 hours or 4 hours on Facebook or internet or video games, it's a lot of time, honestly. Mhm. So definitely, guys. Uh, if you're not achieving your goals, if you're not happy with your own business, if you're not being your own boss, but you want to, find out where you're investing your time incorrectly, or your effort, or your attention, uh-huh, and invest it on something else that is actually worth it, and that will create in time the thing that is going to support the type of life that you want to have.
Exactly.
Because
You could,
you won't let me lie, I'm sorry, you won't let me lie, but it takes a little bit, but once you get there, you're settled.
exactly.
What were you gonna
And
say?
and Ito, and it's important to let people know that it's not that the video games are bad,
No.
and this part is gonna be, you're gonna be like, how come they're a distraction? Yes, but it depends on what you want to do with your life, right? My life or my success had nothing to do with the video games. The video games were just a distraction. They're just a hobby. They were getting my mind off things, but that was not what was getting me closer to what I want to do. There's some people who do want to make money playing video games. There's some people that do want to make money being YouTubers, being influencers, right? There's YouTubers today that make way more money than the CEOs of Coca-Cola and the biggest companies in the world, right? Because things have changed. Everything has changed. But the question to you is, right, not to you, but to the people that are listening is, what do you want to do with your life? How do you see yourself, right, in 10 years? What do you want to do? And then focus on that. You want to be a video gamer? Then great. How do you make money playing video games, right? There's um, like tournaments, challenges. There's a lot of people that make money with that.
Hmm.
But if you're just playing um, as a distraction to get away from your reality, then that's not helping.
Right.
That's not your thing. Look for it. Immerse yourself in something that you like. If you do something that you like for the rest of your life, that means that you are going to stop working for the rest of your life. You know,
Right.
you're not going to work a single day ever again if you like what you do and make money by doing it.
Correct. Which is so very needed in order to be happy. Mhm.
Hmm.
Very good. Now we touched upon the subject of you're doing this because you expand in a way you're expanding your life
Hmm.
from being somebody else being your boss, mhm, and you settling for less than you could or that you dreamed, to expanding your life to I'm going to be my own boss, and yeah, it's going to take a little bit, but once I get there, I'm actually going to be happy because that's what I want to do. Mhm. So we know that there's one basic law about businesses: you either go down and contract, or you move forward and expand. Uh-huh. And there's really no other way around it. You can't just have the same income that you had l- last year because there's inflation, there's losses, there's things that happen. So, mhm, what are your own business expansion goals for the next year?
So I agree with you. Yes, if you're not expanding, you're contracting by far. I mean, there's no way around it. You're not. If you're an entrepreneur, you chose a hard life, a very rewarding life, but a hard life. And to me, I do have expansion plans, especially on the solar business. Because it is. I chose that industry because it's going to grow a lot in the next few years, so according to my research, right, or according to what I like. I think that's going to be expanding a lot. I do have teams being created that will bring more business, right? I do have a lot more marketing being thrown out there, which is going to bring more leads, going to bring more business, and you do have to. It's a leap of faith. You have to you have to invest in your business in order to make it grow. If you don't invest, you're going to contract because you don't pay money to the government on investments. And everyone say, wait, that's wrong. I saying when you invest your money, if you're using your money for marketing for your business, if you're using your money for to get another employee, to get maybe a car that you need for your business, if you're investing your money, the government is not going to tax you on that. If you decide I don't want to, I just want to make my money and use it, you're gonna pay taxes and all that. So you have to use it. You use it or you lose it, pretty much. You
There
know.
you go.
So you gotta invest. And I mentioned it. When we were talking, um, and I don't mean this to move to a religious kind of interview. That's not what I want. But you gotta believe in something. You have to believe. I've obviously I believe in God, and I have a very strong belief in Him. And because of everything I do, is because I also believe in God. is that I believe that I have some help from
From
big
above.
guns upstairs. He's helping me out, so I know when I do an investment, it's going to be in good hands. So um, my my investment strategy is by the hand of God. I know I'm expanding in resources. I know I'm expanding in clients. You know, and I also know the target of how much I want to make in the future. I don't know if I should be very specific with the numbers, but I know exactly how much money I want to make in the year to be able to pay for this investment. I know how much money I have to get out of this specific portion. For example, bringing more people to the team,
Mhm.
or how many leads I need to get from the marketing. I have targets that I focus on. If I meet them, then I'm doing good. If I don't meet them, then hey, that investment didn't work out. You gotta try something else.
Right.
So.
It's always a little bit of a, uh, mhm, try it and then, learn from the failures and then try again and improve it. Definitely. It's always, there's no other way of moving forward because nobody knows everything and nobody can predict every single outcome. So you just gotta, grow a thicker skin. Mhm.
Mhm.
Believe in something, which is, definitely not to turn it into something religious, but you gotta believe in something, whatever you want to believe in, but you gotta believe it, because that gives you like that extra punch, that extra mhm, confidence. So yeah, definitely. I think that everything that you just said is super valuable.
Mhm.
Now, let's say if you have right now in your company, just to know how much you want to grow. Let's say, give me some facts, give me some figures, like where you're going.
On the solar alone, I want to make it grow to give a net income of about 400 grand on the solar. That's the goal. It's a little bit of an ambitious goal,
But it's
but
good.
but I think it can. I actually believe it can happen. Like I've studied, right. It's the time I was playing video games. Now I study the industry. It's good. Like I know I'm giving something of value to people, and it can happen with the right tools and the right people. So that's that one. We have different numbers for the other businesses, but maybe it doesn't happen, right? Maybe I don't do 4 grand, 400 grand on that business. Maybe I do 50. Who knows? Maybe I go down, and you never know what's gonna happen. But I'm never gonna have to regret that I didn't try. I'm never
Totally.
gonna have that issue. As long as I focus on what I want to bring to my life, and there's a lot of books about that. What focusing your mind on bringing success to you, right? Saying you're the best at this. It's all over the place, really. I'm
Hmm.
saying it maybe in a different way. It's just you gotta believe, you gotta declare that you're gonna be successful. You gotta bring it to your life through your voice, through your words.
Yes,
So.
totally. It's so true what you say. It is everywhere. But in spite of it being everywhere, the moment that you believe it, it starts happening. Because I've seen, it's almost like the saying, fake it till you make it.
Hmm.
Mhm. But it doesn't come true unless you actually believe that you all you have to do is act as if you already were. Uh-huh. And then in time it will materialize within you, around you, from outside towards you. But I think the most difficult part is believing it from the get-go, not expecting to try and see what it's like. I'm gonna do this, and then it will happen because I am doing it. That part,
Hmm.
the beginning part, is so difficult because it requires a leap of faith. It requires,
Hmm.
like more than just. I mean, okay. It requires what I meant. What I meant is that it requires guts.
Yep. Requires gut.
And yeah, it's not easy to come up with that characteristic coming from a mindset of, well, I make enough money to be a bachelor for the next 5 to 10 years, right?
Hmm.
So good, very good advice. This has been one of the interviews that I think we've gotten more advices in such a small amount of time. I'm very happy about it.
Right,
so
all right.
so that's where you want to take your company in the next year, especially the solar system one.
The
I think
solar. That's what I'm gonna focus on a lot.
yeah, I think it's an amazing goal. Mhm.
Hmm.
And I wish you the best.
Thank you.
But how, you know, what do you think you'll need specifically? Like a few things that you're going to need as a business owner, as a manager, as an administrator, in order to accomplish those goals.
Um, well, I'm gonna need more help. I need to invest in more help, like I was saying. So I need to find those people that are gonna make a difference in my company, which I think I already have them. They're
Mhm.
they're gonna be starting this week, which is great. Um, so I am gonna invest in the right help right now, which is what I need. I need help. There's no way you can do it alone. And if you're doing it alone, that also means that 100% of your income depends on your efforts, and that's not good. Because if anything happens to you, you you know, knock on wood, anything happens to you, then your money's gone because it depends on
Yes.
100% of your efforts. So getting the right help to keep expanding, that's number one. And number two, more leads, which means I gotta get really well at marketing. And that's one of the thing of most businesses also that is gonna make a difference. Because if you don't invest in marketing, if you don't invest on bringing people in, organic will be wonderful. If you organically get so many people that come in and visit
Oh,
your business, chances are you already have 100 to 200 other competitors that are doing the same thing you're doing or very similar to what you're doing.
yeah.
So, and they have been there longer than you, but that doesn't mean they are better than you. So my plan on that sense is that I need something that is going to be different from other people, and I'm not going to tell you what that is, but I have a specific thing that is going to make me different to other solar companies, which I thought of it, which will make a difference to the client,
Nice.
right? That way, if I separate myself from other companies, then they're
Yeah.
going to remember me. They're going to be able to refer me a little bit more.
Hmm.
So, um, what I need is good people, and what I need is good marketing. And I'm already working on those two. And it's going to be different to every company as well. So it's pointless for me to say exactly what it is.
Totally.
But it's a marketing strategy that allows me to be more effective at reaching out to people instead of just getting whatever, right?
Yes. I totally understand. And I think I know where you're going. But let me tell you this, um, making yourself different, mhm, and making yourself um, easy to be remembered by either, it could be the service that you provide, or something additional that you give in the service, a better experience. Mhm. So like for example, just giving a different experience to the customer, mhm,
Hmm.
or the prospective buyer, uh-huh, will make the entire difference in the world, and that's a proven marketing fact. Mhm.
Hmm.
So yes, setting yourself apart, it's an amazing marketing technique. Well used, is it can just take you to the moon and back.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
very, very good. I see you've committed to this, and I like that.
I have no other choice, man. It's that or go back to work.
It's
Can't go
do
back
or
in time.
die. Go hard or go home, boy.
Yep. Yeah, go big or go home, pretty much. Gotta make it happen, and it's
Definitely.
gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. People are
Yeah.
so afraid of making decisions and making big plans for their businesses. It's gonna be okay. Just do it, man. Just freaking do it and live with experience and live with lessons instead of living with the weight of regret because you
Yes.
never did more than what you were capable of, right? What you thought you were capable
Totally. So it's the fear of failure,
of. Hmm.
uh-huh, that sometimes is stronger, than the need of trying.
Hmm.
Mhm. But I see you're courageous, and I congratulate you for it.
Thank you, Itu.
We're on the same team, brother. So I see what you're doing there. I see what you're doing. Good. Well, thank you very much, Israel. This was amazing. We actually went past the time that we usually do because I really, really liked everything that you say. You had a lot to contribute with. Mhm. Fantastic advice. Mhm. Personal, like I can see you're talking from actually being there in the trenches, getting your hands dirty, and I like that. I
Hmm.
like that. And you're like, oh yeah, baby.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I've been in the trenches. Yeah.
Oh yeah. These hands have been dirty. But very smart too. So I loved it. That's why I just went with it. Mhm. So I thank you very much for everything that you gave us. Mhm. Did you have a good time?
I had a good time. Yeah, absolutely. Love the show, man.
Fantastic, man. Thank you very much. I had a great time too. So, this takes us to the end of today's episode. Mhm. And for all of you out there, first of all, give us 5-star reviews so we can reach more people and help more business owners expand. Thank you for listening. And remember to tune in for our next episode and check us in our webpage, expandthefires.com. And let's all keep the fires of expansion burning even higher. Thank you very much, my friend, and goodbye to you all. See you in the next one.